Welcome to Breaking News Wahala. The news these are, in case you are just joining us on this special episode, you can see that I had to go and get the Ibonese offer. I had to get it, and I had to get some beads so that when you people are in Nigeria say, he's in abroad, you cannot tell us what is going on in Nigeria. Us that are abroad, we have not forgotten about tradition. We have not forgotten about Omenala. We have not forgotten about what happens in the land. Adeze, or we haven't forgotten. We are still sons of the soils, daughters of the soils. We have not forgotten our tradition. But today's episode is not just special because of the story and the event that I'm about to tell, but today's episode is special because I want to announce to you before I get into the news that I have a new song coming, Ezego. It is going to be streaming on Friday. So if you haven't subscribed to our small record label where we bring small artists, we are trying to hustle to build that record label. It is called Prayer Records. Please go and again, Prayer Records does not mean we only sing gospel songs. We also are looking for secular artists. Whatever you sing, as long as you make good music, we want you to come on the Prayer Records and sing with us. You know, you can be the next Beyonce. You can be the next Celine Dion. You can be the next T.Y. Savage. Don't allow your talent to die. But the news trending. A man of God in Nigeria has mounted the podium. He said God has given him a new unction. This unction is that he is looking for homosexuals. The man of God explained in his sermon that he has a great burden to look for homosexuals. He said in a city in Nigeria called Warri, there is a certain house where men, homosexuals, lesbians come together to have sex. The man of God shunned this act and said, meanwhile, the church is busy packing music concert. The church is busy dancing skelewu while young people are busy knocking behind the camera. My name is Chimereze Henry, and I am your host for this episode of Breaking News Wahala. Hot.
There are houses in this worry that homosexuals are just going to have sex. If you are bottom, it means that you are the female. So you are the one that presents your buttocks for activity. There are apps where you can just go register. I tried one. A brother that came for me for counseling introduced me to one of the apps because I asked him, how did you meet the man you went to sleep with? Our city. You people don't know. When you hear us, when you see us crying in prayer and begging God to invade our cities because of information we have. There are houses in this worry that homosexuals are just going to have sex. And it will shock you to know that by the time you do a sample, 80% are from the church. 80%. You know how they meet each other? There's an app. I have the app. When the brothers gave it to me, I've been trying to register. I don't know whether the app knows that I'm a man of the spirit. Because I want to go in undercover. Hey.
A recap of the news. A man of God, a pastor of a mega church called onyebuchi, has said his views on LGBTQ, the gays, homosexuals, and lesbians. He had said, standing on the altar, that he despises the homosexual and has a deeper calling to go undercover into the LGBTQ community to convert souls for Christ. He had alleged in that video that he had tried to open an account in one of the gay homosexual dating apps, and he wants to go undercover to see what he can discover. He said the brother had come to him during counseling and had confessed to him about his homosexual activities, also introducing him to the new slangs of the LGBTQIA community, which is the slang of top and bottom. As people sat down in that service, clapping for Shepherd Onyebuchi, I want you who are members of that church, and I want you, Shepherd Onyebuchi, to watch this video. I have some few questions for you and your church member. The first question and the cocoa of the matter is, Shepherd Onyebuchi, you said that you tried to register on a gay homosexual dating app.
There are apps where you can just go register. I tried one. A brother that came for me for counseling introduced me to one of the apps because I asked him, how did you meet the man you went to sleep with?
I want to ask you, man of God, with due respect, Pastor, Daddy Gio, I'm not disrespecting you before they say I don't have respect and hold me. But I want to ask you, sir, which of the dating app did you try to, register? Is it GRINDR? Is it Tinder? Is it Sniffies? Is it Scruff? Or is it Adam for Adam? So that we will know. Or is it Craigslist? Or is it OnlyFans? So we want to know which of the dating app that you secretly had an urgent call from heaven. So heaven does not have any serious business. So heaven did not give you any better message other than for you to go undercover into a gay dating app. So I want to ask you, you and I know that before you register for any dating app, if it's GRINDR, they have shown you prick, they have shown you yash, they have shown you six pack. So sir, you stood on the altar while your members were clapping for you, when you openly and allegedly say that you have seen porn. You were looking at yash, you were looking at Bola on the altar of God. My God, what is this? What is Nigeria church turning to? You can, but sir, you also allegedly said that in that video that you tried to register, but it's like they know that you're a man of God, therefore they did not allow you penetrate. Sir, why are you lying?
You know how they meet each other? There's an app. I have the app. When the brothers gave it to me, I've been trying to register. I don't know whether the app knows that I'm a man of the spirit.
Because let me lecture you. Before you register, all you need is your email. Maybe that brother that came for counseling can even be you, because you did not mention that brother's name. We don't know what that brother, how did you even get connected? How do you, there are many questions. But sir, let me lecture you number one first. Before you register for any gay dating app, all you need is your email, your email, and all you need are just your information, your age, That is all you need. GRINDR does not check who is dating. There is no like a face dictator to say, oh, Shepherd Onyebuchi, is that you trying to, is that you trying to register? Shepherd Onyebuchi, we know you, we cannot register you. Sir, that is not how it works. You cannot fool us. Let me also educate you, sir. You registered for that GRINDR. Sir, you went on that dating app. Sir, let me register, and let me also tell you, you have an account. That is how you knew this slang. Nobody came to your office to confess anything. Shepherd Onyebuchi, you were the one that went undercover. You have a GRINDR account. And if time is not checking itself, we will discover that in your past life, even your marriage self does not hold water. Because if we ask your wife now, your wife will tell you that you have not been touching her. If we check properly, Shepherd Onyebuchi, why are you curious about what two elderly people, what two gay people are doing? So heaven does not have any business again than to know what two men are doing in their house. So let me ask you, how many times does anybody even sit down and say, let me check what my neighbor is doing. Let me check. As a man, even as not a man of God, I cannot sit down and say, I am sitting down to think what my upstairs neighbor, who is he knocking? Why is he fucking? Anybody that sit down, consciously take time to think about what two gay men are doing in the privacy, not only what they are doing, you know where they stay. Sir, you know where they stay.
To go in undercover. Hey.
Have you been to that fucker? Have you been to that fuckers? Sir, have they opened your nyash?
The one that is called bottom. If you are bottom, it means that you are the female. So you are the one that presents your buttocks for activity.
Shepherd Onyebuchi, have they spread your legs? Because you need to tell us there's something you're not telling us, sir. with due respect, because you know too much for a straight man. You know too much for a man who likes women. You know too much for a man who is married. If in short, even thinking about it, since Shepherd Onyebuchi have been showing his videos, we have never gotten to see his wife. So my question is, sir, are you sure you are not the one that went to GRINDR? Are you sure that you have not been to that fuck house? Because how do you know there is a fuck house? You also know the slang, stop, bottom, that God has given you an urge. You also know that there is a WhatsApp group. You know, sir, I want to ask, so, but let me ask this calmly. Maybe I'm shouting. Maybe I'm saying this too. But Pastor, how do you know that there is a gay WhatsApp group where they add people? Well, all you do there is to be looking at profile.
About a group, they just added him to the group on WhatsApp. The young man, they just put him in a WhatsApp group. All they do in the group is, when you enter the group, you'll be checking profiles. So you see somebody you like, you go offline. Two of you start talking, you meet, you have sex, you go your way. It's a group for just madness.
They'll be hitting you and say, I like you, you're a sexy man. The way that you are looking to me, Shepherd Onyebuchi, with due respect, sir, you look like a bottom. You look like a bottom. You look like you have been in this lifestyle before. So tell us the truth. If you want to come out and say, you like me, just kukuma come out and say, this is what, because last, if we check properly, last, Shepherd Onyebuchi, if we check properly, they don't open your yash. I say, if we check, you are sitting on the altar, condemning homosexuals, condemning lesbians, condemning the LGBTQI community. I want to ask you, Pastor, can you say before heaven that the only woman you have ever slept with in this life is your wife? Can you confidently come and say before the whole world that let them go through your history that the only woman that you have ever slept with is your wife? You're so quick to condemn homosexual, but you, the sparkles or the lumps in your eyes, you are not so quick to remove it. You have not talked about love. You have not talked about hatred, jealousy. You have not talked about wickedness in the altar, in the house of God. You have not talked about covetousness. You've not talked about the bad politicians in Nigeria. You've not talked about corruption. You've not talked about how your members are cheating and increasing, inflating price up and down. You have not talked about your members who are snatching people's husband. But when it comes to homosexual, when it comes to hate, the energy you put to talk about, you've not even talked about, you did not even start a campaign against poverty. Look at how Nigerians in Nigeria are suffering. Some of them have not even eaten 3 squares meal, but you are comfortable that heaven gave you a calling to go to a folk house to look for the, but heaven did not give you a calling, no. When it came to racism, no. Heaven did not give you a calling, no. When it came to colonization, no. Heaven did not give you a calling, no. When it came to corruption, no. Heaven did not give you a calling when it came to the wickedness that you are doing in your house. Heaven did not give you a calling when it came to the bigotry and how you treat your family members and that your wife in your house. But suddenly, when it came to hatred for homosexuals, heaven now has given you a calling. So, a recap of the news. Shepherd Onyebuchi, stop being a hypocrite at the altar. Shepherd Onyebuchi, we know your type. Every man of God that sits down and say that God has given. How can pastor say, I they go to Lucia house, I am going to a harlot house, I am going to Olifan, or I'm going to a porn star's house to go and preach for them? My dear, any pastor that goes to a porn star's house, any pastor that goes to an Ashawo quarter to go and preach, pastor, you get command, because you cannot tell me that you went and where they are showing Bobby, showing Vivi, and you went to preach. Pastor, your prick no dey work. Pastor, shebi your prick no dey work. See, let me say this before I wrap up this news. Gone are those days when these men of God will lie to us and say whatever they want to say. Like Pastor our Shepherd Onyebuchi, who stood there on the altar of God. This disrespect. How can you call yourself the house of God? Your pastor stood there and lied that he tried to register on a dating app, but they did not let it. Who is there anybody in this world that cannot register for a dating app? You don't even need a picture profile. That is the first thing. The man of God, the Bible clearly says the father of all liars is the devil. And the Bible clearly says, again, let me remind you in case you're forgotten, that the devil has transformed himself as a minister of light, preaching the gospel. So, pastor, it is not everybody that wears suit and tie that comes to that altar that says Jesus. The Bible also says clearly that on the last day, many will say, Lord, Lord, didn't we cast demons in your name? Lord, Lord, didn't you do miracle in your name? And he will say, I know you not. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. Pastor Onyebuchi, you are a worker of iniquity. And this has been breaking news for Hala. And my name remains Chimereze Henry Ahunai. If you have any lawsuit, send it to kirutalkng@gmail.com. And if you have anything in the world, there is freedom of speech, but here on our YouTube channel, if you say nonsense, we delete you. Thank you and have a nice one. Peace out.